Welcome back to Movieworld Recaps. Today I am going to share an action, adventure, drama movie about a family man who is drafted to fight in a future war where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront the past. Warning, spoilers ahead, so watch and enjoy. Dan Forrester, a biology instructor and former Green Beret, is unsuccessful in landing a position at a famous research institute in December 2022. At a Christmas party where he is watching the World Cup, soldiers from the year 2051 arrive to warn that humanity is in danger of going extinct because of a conflict with alien invaders known as the White Spikes. The majority of humanity will be wiped off by the White Spikes 3 years after they first appear in November 2048. A worldwide draft is instituted after members of the world's army are sent into the future via the JumpLink wormhole device, but fewer than 30% of them survive deployment to return in 7 days. There is little hope for humanity's survival after a year of the draft and an expanding anti-war movement. Dan reports to basic training together with other draftees after learning that he has been selected. Dan and fellow draftee Charlie come to the conclusion that those who were drafted had already passed away before the conflict even begins in order to avoid a paradox. Few of the draftees survive since they were dropped in the wrong place above the city. Instead, they are sent forward in time to a battlefield near Miami Beach. Colonel Forrester gives the draftees the order to save neighboring lab workers before the region is sterilized. The draftees find the lab staff dead but manage to salvage their research. When Dan radios command about the predicament, he learns that no assistance will be sent to rescue the stranded soldiers. With the exception of Dan, Charlie, and Dorian, a veteran soldier on his third mission to the future, most of the draftees are slain. In a military camp in the Dominican Republic, the survivors awaken. Colonel Forrester, who turns out to be his grown daughter Maury, requests that Dan report to him. She asks him to go with her on a mission to capture a female white spike because they are less common than the males that are usually seen. They capture the female and imprison her, only to have hordes of males surround them. Dan and Maury flee to a beach as the helicopter carrying the woman takes off and call for help. Maury explains that Dan abandons his family and perishes in a vehicle accident in 2030 because he is unhappy with his life as a result of losing his work. Transported to a fortified oil rig at Port Nelson, where the jump link is situated, are Dan, Maury, and the female white spike. Dan is developing a toxin with his daughter that will kill the captured woman. Just as they begin to breach the base, they discover a match to kill the aliens. The former captive female skewers Colonel Forrester with one of her spikes as the white spikes attack the base. Dan watches her as she falls from the gantry shortly before he is sent back in time with the toxin to generate it in large quantities. Dan tries to give the toxin to the army so that it may be sent back to the future, but discovers that the jump link is down because the white spikes destroyed it. The announcement that the jump link is down, signaling that the war has been lost, has caused chaos throughout the planet. While Dan and his wife Emmy are coming up with ideas, Emmy concludes that the white spikes did not arrive in 2048 but rather arrived much earlier. They propose that the white spikes have been on Earth since the Millennium eruption in the year 946 and that global warming caused their release when they thawed out and came from under the ice caps. Dan talks with Charlie and Martin, a high school student interested in volcanoes, and they support this theory. To support his theory, Dan organizes a trip to Russia with Charlie, Dorian, a few living future troops, and his estranged father James. At the Academy of Sciences glacier on Komsomolets Island, the team discovers an alien ship that has crashed. They discuss making the public aware of the issue, but ultimately opt to put an end to the threat right now. Once inside, they discover that the white spikes are bioengineered organisms rather than actual aliens who might have been used as cattle or a weapon to clear the planet. The squad injects the toxin into a number of the hibernating white spikes. This kills the injected but awakens the others, and the majority of the team perishes. Dorian, who has terminal disease and wants to pass away on his terms, stays behind to use C4 to blow up the ship, which results in the deaths of all save one white spike. Charlie and Dan are the only members of the crew left after Dan and his father capture the lone female who managed to flee. Dan invites James to meet his wife and daughter, happy that the war has been stopped and humanity has been saved, and determined to avoid the mistakes that Maury had forewarned him about in the future. That's all folks for today. I hope you like it. Please subscribe to our channel for more content like this and hit on the like button to help us out. You can also leave a comment below if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time.